What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Atlantic Files. This week, we're talking about Jordan Poole, Josh Giddey's allegations, Scott Foster's feud with Chris Paul, Mark Cuban selling a majority stake of the Dallas Mavericks, and more on episode 295 of the Atlantic Files. Let's get this thing popping.
Welcome to the Atlantic Files, where humor and vibes collide. Nets the Sixers, the king of the court. Jokes that hit you one more. Atlantic Division, we own the scene. Comedy, food talk, every routine. Mike Bash, Clausen, Fischbein on the mic, making you laugh every episode right. Game is strong, court to kitchen. We're never wrong. You know what time it is. It's time for the Atlantic Files.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. As always, joined by your host, myself, Alex Fischbein, and Dennis, big sexy Clausen. What's going on, Dennis?
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I've been eating Thanksgiving food for the last 5 days, so it's been great.
How long will you eat your leftovers for?
Usually
Because
around 4 to 5 days.
Yeah, that's a way. You're gonna get sick, honey. Stop.
They've been fine.
Like, what is there a certain limit on certain foods?
Well, so first off, I despise stuffing. So that's not even a food I touch anyway. But a couple of the foods I will like kind of look at when it's in the fridge and be like, nah, I don't need to eat those leftovers. I'll wait till I'll grab the other ones. Like I've been eating the turkey, the sweet potatoes, and the mac and cheese, and then some of the green beans.
There has to be like a limit. Excuse me, real quick. I gotta adjust myself here. There we go. I feel like there's a limit on. I hear people like talking about. They're like, "Oh, I'm eating turkey," and I'm like, "Dude, it's like fucking Sunday." Like, I think that I just get so skeeved out. Like, Thanksgiving was Thursday, and now we're like, there's people eating leftovers, and it's like, okay, Friday, I get you, maybe Saturday, but when we start creeping into Sunday, then I'm starting to get a little concerned about like food contamination and stuff.
No, I definitely hear you. It's funny because I saw a post on like Instagram or something from the local news channel that was just like, your Thanksgiving leftovers expire as of today if they were in the fridge. So stop eating them.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
I'm really not a big leftover guy in general. Like I don't really enjoy leftovers other than Thanksgiving. That's like really the only leftovers that I eat. Even if I make the food, I still am just like, I'd rather just make more food rather than eat leftovers.
Well, I mean, but by the time you get to like Friday, okay, like so if you eat Thanksgiving dinner maybe like a Saturday, or if you eat Thanksgiving at like 2:00, then 2-3 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're gonna eat dessert. Then you're gonna have the turkey sandwich. The next day you're probably gonna eat more leftovers. That's it. Like, that's no more after that. So by the time if you're eating on Saturday, I'm like, okay, when is this gonna stop? Because there's only so much turkey, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Thanksgiving, but there's a limit here. Plus, I'm sick of it by that point, and then I'm worried about food contamination. So yeah. If I hear that you're eating on Sunday, there's a problem.
I mean, we ate some on Monday.
Okay, that's a problem. You people are gonna get sick. Your
But
wife
today,
is a physician and she's okay with that?
oh, she's all about leftovers.
Okay.
Today she was like, do you want to have Thanksgiving leftovers or are you tired of them? I was like, I'm tired of them.
So what did you eat? Did you eat leftovers
No, I made myself pancakes and eggs.
for dinner?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm down for that.
Right? Chocolate chip pancakes too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I love eggs.
Oh, same.
Eggs.
I'll eat eggs
Speaking of that,
time
my
of day.
my wife is listening. I'll take an egg sandwich. When she comes home, I'm starving.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink. I just realized I didn't eat anything either, and I am done. Like I like my whole appetite is off from like Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, really, it's weird because you stuff yourself so relentless. No wonder why Americans are the fattest country on the planet by far, because you eat like just complete. I must have eaten about a half a pumpkin pie.
Oh, I think I ate almost the whole pumpkin pie.
I love pumpkin pie.
Oh, that's my favorite. Of all the Thanksgiving foods, pumpkin pie is at the top.
And then on top of it's just the whole thing. So then Saturday rolls around. Nobody still wants to cook. I got the biggest calzone I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And it's from this place near me. It's called Antonio's. Shout out to Antonio's. But I think they took a whole pizza shell and just folded it over. This thing literally took me. I couldn't eat it in one sitting, which is rare for me because I'm usually good for polishing stuff off in one sitting, and this, no way in hell could I do it.
Damn. That sounds like a good calzone, though.
It was a really fucking good calzone. Now I want a calzone.
Tyler says, elite eats, Alex. Thank you. Thank you.
Whatever that means.
I was really just craving breakfast food, and then I was like, wait, I just realized I bought pancake mix. So I'm making myself pancakes.
So what did she eat for the leftovers then?
She had we had pizza that was leftover, so she had pizza.
Okay, now that's a different story. If you're talking, I'm thinking you're still talking about Thanksgiving.
Food. We were at first.
What?
We were at first, but
that's
she ended
crazy. I can't. So where is it now? In the garbage where it should be?
I think there's still some turkey in the fridge.
Get the fuck out of here. Get rid of that. Are you
we
stupid?
ate all the sweet potatoes, we ate all the mac and cheese,
Holy
we ate all
shit.
the
You're gonna die.
There was still some green beans left too, I think. But I don't
and it's not even like a good food. You're like a green beans. Like you gotta hold on to green beans?
No. That's as of today, I was like, I don't need to eat those anymore.
I mean, you should have said that on Thursday. Holy shit. What the hell is going on over there?
I said, Dennis is really serious.
I'm flabbergasted right now at this whole thing you got going on right now.
I mean,
throw those out.
She's about the leftovers. She's all about it.
She's a medical professional. She should know better than that. Holy shit.
Oh, God.
Now, pizza, leftover Chinese and leftover pizza is where it's at.
Depends what kind of Chinese, though.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I don't like reheating, if you're talking some General Tso's, whatever, General Tso's chicken.
Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows if it's Tso's or Sal's, because
everyone says it differently.
Please tell me what it is. I have no idea.
But
all I know, if you eat that pepper though from the General Tso's, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah.
You ever bite into that thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I almost died.
That stuff is lethal.
I don't know what kind of pepper that is. I just know I don't think I've ever eaten General Tso's since then. I'm like, nah, I'm good with sesame chicken.
But the Chinese food that's very heavy in sauce, to me, reheated doesn't taste that good.
You're out of your mind. I don't even know you anymore. What the hell are you talking? Are you okay? What are
I'm
you
just,
talking about?
I'm just like, there's a,
Thought I knew you.
it's called dry chili style chicken, and
Mhm.
it's like really hot on the hot scale of Chinese food.
I mean, if
And
it has chili in the name, I would assume it's like
yeah,
you're
and
taking a Zantac.
it's
That
like
night.
double flash fried, and it's like all sorts of different things, but there's no sauce to it. It's just like a almost like a
Like a
dry
dry
rub.
rub?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I reheat that shit is good.
I don't understand you're bitching about reheating Chinese food that's sauce based, but you're willing to eat turkey that's 5 days old. It makes no sense to me.
Well, I will say dan dan noodles, dan dan noodles, however you say that too. Those are really good reheated. I love those.
I have no idea what those are.
You like Chinese and you haven't had dan dan noodles?
Maybe they're under a different name.
Maybe.
Explain them to me. What are they?
They're usually like an appetizer. They're not even like a main course. And they're like a brownish sauce. Has some sesame seeds. And it's just like a long noodle. Here, hold on. I'll show you.
God, I'm gonna pass out. I'm starving. And you know what another thing is lately too? You ever notice the amount of people who are supposedly allergic to sesame seeds?
Oh,
So
yeah.
are you telling that's lo mein?
No. It's a specific type. It's a dan dan noodle.
That looks there's no difference. That looks exactly like lo mein.
The sauce is different. This has spice to it too. The spice is real nice.
But it's a noodle though.
It is a noodle, yes.
It's the
But
same
you know
noodle
how
they use as lo mein.
I think it might be the same type of noodle, but it's just not lo mein. Because there's not all the other stuff in it like a lo mein.
Well, what the hell else is in lo mein that would be? You know what? I can't.
Just trust me.
All right.
Next time you go, try the dan dan.
All right. We'll see.
Davis says hi, by
Hi,
the way.
baby. Tell mommy I want egg sandwiches.
2. Anyway, now that we have gotten past the leftover,
I don't even know if I want to continue.
Oh God, we're gonna put a poll in on Spotify and everything. We'll do it on like Twitter and everything too. We're gonna put a poll, and we want to know how long you people, meaning everyone watching, will.
What do you mean by you people?
I had a feeling that was coming. How long all of you will eat leftovers for? How up to how much?
Have you anything more than the day after you're a moron?
Everyone will just have to let us know what they think. David says, but your thing says still full. LOL.
That's true. You're smart. I was full. Like yeah, she's right.
But anyway, let's jump into a little basketball here. We're gonna start off with something light, and then we'll get into the Josh Giddey and the Scott Foster and all that. Let's just have a little Atlantic Division check-in, because we are the Atlantic Files. We do talk a lot of Atlantic Division here, especially Sixers and Nets. I'm going to bring up just the current standings just so we can kind of see the broad picture of what's happening in the league as of today. So
I want lo mein.
I just had dinner and I am getting kind of hungry now.
This is a problem with food. It's just so good. I just want to eat all the time.
I know. This is why I understand Zion's struggles.
Well,
strictly from a food aspect. None of his other
there's so many
struggles.
directions I could go.
None of his other struggles.
But I mean, of course, the dude's starving. Before, I thought he was just because he was like watching movies and shit. But apparently, he's doing a lot of things to kind of, he's like Michael Phelps. You know, that you ever hear Michael Phelps? He eats like a whole pizza after he's done swimming.
Oh yeah, he eats they said he eats like 10 to 12,000 calories a day.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Zion, but that's just from him like boning the white bitches. All right, Eastern Atlantic.
And we're back. Yeah, so Atlantic Division, as of today, the Celtics are in first by 1 game over the Sixers. They're at 13-4, Sixers at 12-5. For those of you who are listening and not watching on YouTube, the Knicks are in third at 9-7. The Nets are in fourth at 8-8, and the Raptors are in fifth at 8-9. I will say, I'm surprised that the Raptors are only 8-9 and not worse than that, because a lot of the times I've watched them, they've looked worse. Scotty Barnes, your man's, on the other hand.
My man's.
Scotty Barnes has looked amazing, but he's the only one on that team that I can consistently say he has looked good so far this season.
Siakam has turned it around a little bit from
a tiny bit.
When we were talking about, like, he's had a couple good games.
Right.
But they're just not, I mean, that's not, I don't know what their love affair is, though, with OG Anunoby. And I don't know what the hell happened to Gary Trent.
I don't either. I would love to know.
Literally, Gary, what's going on, man? Like, do you got to talk? Like, is he depressed or something? Like, why is he playing like garbage?
I was excited for this year because of having Gary Trent in our Dynasty League. Because I was like, oh, like, he's not hurt anymore. He'll come back, and he has a new coach now. He'll, like, really get it going. And he just has been terrible.
Horrible.
Like, it's literally hard to watch. Schroeder has gone back to exactly what we knew Schroeder was. Schroeder had this big old coming out party in the World Cup, and then all of a sudden he gets back into the NBA, and now he's exactly what we thought he was. And
I don't know anybody who thought that he would play any better. Than, like, he's just not that good.
No,
he's a long way away from the Atlanta Hawks guy.
Oh yeah, and like, it's just, I like the team in general just doesn't look like well put together anymore, if that makes sense. They just, I don't know, there's something about the team that it just look like when you watch the Raptors, you're just kind of like, well, they're the Raptors.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, Fred VanVleet.
True.
I mean, that's the whole problem right now.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, especially because after him, Grady Dick hasn't been great either.
His ass has been in the G League.
Yeah, he got sent back down there. And then it's funny because there's the whole thing about what's his name? The backup point guard. I'm losing his name now. We talked about him. Yeah, Malachi Flynn. Last season there was like his dad or something was bitching about Nick Nurse not giving him playing time and all this and all that. And now he gets some playing time and I'm like, okay, he looks the same.
Well, he wasn't really that good to begin with.
No, they got rid of the better one in Banton.
Your man.
And kept Flynn.
Who actually got the start the other day, I believe, in
Boston.
He did.
Which is like, if he's good enough for Boston to be like, you know what, let's throw him in there.
Well, apparently he's doing something right.
Exactly. But I don't know. Tyler asks, is Cam Thomas coming back soon?
Well, he was listed as doubtful going into tonight's in-season tournament matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been out like the past 2 weeks. On the injury report, it's just said out. So usually when guys you start seeing designation changes, even if it's doubtful, it usually means they're trending in a direction. So I would probably say that Cam Thomas will be back. If I had to guess, maybe three more games, maybe.
Okay. That makes
So,
sense.
I mean, he's right on the timeline of what they said he was going to miss, which was like 2 to 3 weeks, like 3 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, he's progressing. He's ramping up.
The good old ramping up. I will say, by the way, according to BovadaSportsbook.com, the Raptors are in the odds for DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They have odds for both of these guys, what team that they will go to after the 2024 trade deadline, if not the Chicago Bulls. And the Raptors have the lowest odds out of the 6 teams for DeRozan at plus 900. And they actually have the 4th best odds out of 7 teams for Zach LaVine at plus 350. I don't know why the Raptors would go after a guy like Zach LaVine or somebody, because like that feels as though the timeline doesn't really line up, but they're in there.
I mean, I can't understand why the Raptors would do a lot of things that they've done over the years.
That's true too.
If people want OG Anunoby, trade him. I don't know why they love him so much, but the dude is just he's already missed time already. Yeah, granted, it was only like a game, maybe 2. But
yeah, but it was for cutting his finger at home.
But how do you cut your finger?
Like, and especially, how do you cut your finger bad enough that you can't just play basketball?
I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I mean, what's next? He wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, stubs his toe. You know,
or like the who was it? Rondo that slipped and fell in his shower and like broke his arm or something like that.
Yeah, well, I have my theories on that one. There's a lot of things you could do in the shower.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like I don't know, but Zach LaVine. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We got all this hype for Zach LaVine for what? Can we stop with this garbage already? These guys who are just constantly hurt and just a pain in the ass. And not that LaVine is is on the level of like a Kyrie, nowhere near that level. However, the dude has been involved in like trade rumors for like 2 years, it seems.
Feels like ages.
I mean, so if we're going to, they might as well just trade Patrick Williams and LaVine and just get it all over with. That way, Chicago's not full of distractions anymore, because all you ever hear is Patrick Williams he still sucks. Zach LaVine is going to get traded. Lonzo Ball is a year away from being 1 year away from returning. DeMar DeRozan is going to be a free agent. That's all everybody talks about. Where is he going to go? Vucevic is like, I don't care. I got paid. It's better than getting bombed over in Serbia, wherever the fuck he was living beforehand.
True.
And Kobe White is like the sloppy seconds. They use him because they have nobody else. Ayo Dosunmu is like good, probably like their best guy. Dale and Terry, what the fuck? He's horrible. Like the whole team is just not good.
I'd need them to send Alex Caruso to a competitive team.
He'd be perfect for somebody. You put Alex Caruso. Contender. But you can't let him play more than 20 minutes because God knows he'll do something too to go out for 4 games.
True. He's one of those guys that goes like too hard in the minutes that he's in, so he always gets hurt. So you're like, all right, we can only put you in for so long
Like
because
12
you're gonna
minutes.
because you're gonna dive into a chair, break your nose, and then you're out for 2 weeks.
I mean, the dude's good, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the Lakers chose Taylor Horton-Tucker over him. Look where that got him. The Lakers would love Alex Caruso back right now. I'll tell you that.
especially with all the injuries they have.
Oh God.
And it's not even the normal guys that are getting hurt; it's everyone else.
But they act like it's such a big deal. We're missing Cam Reddish and Rui. Even though Rui's been playing good, but remember when Rui was in Washington? He didn't play for like a half a season because he was all depressed and shit. And then it was
I forgot about that.
Since when was Rui like such an instrumental force for a team?
Right.
Like that ship has sailed like a long time ago.
And
now,
Rui in Washington was one of those guys when it was like every year they were like, he's gonna take off this year. This is gonna be the year. And then just stayed the exact same the whole time.
And they're still saying that about him.
I know. Everyone said his fantasy stock increased this year, and then until like 2 weeks ago, he was barely getting any playing time.
I mean, it's unreal the amount the Lakers are just Jared Vanderbilt, whatever you want to come back and play, that's fine. Heel bursitis or something. What the hell is that?
Gabe Vincent's been out.
Gabe Vincent's been out. I tell you, Gabe Vincent probably got to LA. He's like, wait a second. I wish I had stayed in Miami.
He probably does. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers, with their normal like trade around the deadline, if they shipped out like Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt, and then once they were traded, they're like, all right, cool, we're good, we'll play normal again.
But Gabe Vincent, I mean, it's like, are you stupid, Gabe Vincent? You could probably be starting right now in Miami.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Got a little bit away from the Atlantic Division, but the Sixers look good. I love everything I'm seeing out of them. You even said last night you thought that Embiid was going to eat up Anthony Davis, and he did. Got his first triple-double of the year.
Shit stomped.
Yes. 44 points. The biggest deficit of LeBron James' career.
I didn't know that.
Just saw that earlier today. And I
mean, all the crappy teams he's played on, that's the biggest deficit.
I know.
I mean,
especially his early Cavs teams.
Oh, I know, but I love those teams, though. They were so bad.
Good old Zadrunas Ilgauskas.
But hey, they didn't need anybody else because that dude was LeBron was doing everything back then.
True.
But here's the thing, like the Pistons, talk about garbage. The Pistons are garbage, but the Sixers again have that feeling back for me in terms of like the Sixers, like Batum and Covington are perfect Sixers.
Yes.
That team is perfect the way it's constructed right now. Like all of the guys on the Sixers roster right now is like old school role. Guys know their roles. That is like a good, there's no bullshit anymore. We don't got to talk about James Harden. And it's much fun to watch a game when you don't have to hear James Harden being traded every day.
Hell yeah. Not having to hear about him getting traded, not having to watch him dribble the air out of the ball, not having to watch him fall apart on defense and have his man score 40 points. There's a lot of things great to just not watch.
And that's why I always say, like, the Nets are nowhere near a championship level team, but I'm having fun just because it's guys are out there working hard. Defensively, they're like the Nets are fun to watch again. And honestly, like I don't even. Joel Embiid has grown on me, especially like he's shown a lot over the past couple of years. I think he's like realized that, hey, I need to like be on the floor and start doing stuff. But that whole team, like the way it's constructed, is great.
Oh yeah.
When you got Batum starting, that's awesome. That's Sixers to me.
And it's like not only that, but like the whole team seems to just love Batum. And the whole team seems to love Covington. And then Patrick Beverly was getting in people's faces. I mean, he always does. But like that's just like the Sixers have always needed somebody like that. And then Marcus Morris goes out and hits a few threes against the Lakers and talks his shit.
He had big game the other when he filled in for Embiid one game.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I was like, of all the people that you're going to start Morris, but okay, we'll take it. It worked.
And then Paul Reed comes in and cleans up everything on his end too. I mean, it's just D'Anthony Melton has been awesome.
The dude's playing well.
And it's like, and Kelly Oubre is not even back yet.
They're playing this way. It's going to be. I get nervous, like if Oubre comes back, how it's going to like mess with rotations and stuff, because I feel like they got like a good thing going on right now.
True.
I feel like they're starting to get comfortable with just what they. I mean, Kelly. It's not like he was like expected to be like anything significant, but he's a damn good player.
Yeah. Still insane that they got him for a veteran minimum.
I won't ever be able to figure that out.
Yeah, me neither.
I can't figure out like Stonehenge. I can't figure out how they built the pyramids, and I can't figure out how the Sixers managed to land Kelly Oubre on a veteran's minimum. Because that's absolutely crazy to me.
It's just and even I just remember listening to the one podcast that Daryl Morey was on, and he was just like, yeah, we actually tried to offer him a little bit more, but some other team started talking to him about offering him a bit longer of a contract, and then that fell through, and then we were like, well, here's the minimum, and then he took it. I was like, so you were gonna give him more, but you got him on the minimum anyway. That's just insane.
I mean, he probably shouldn't have said that, but you know.
No, he probably shouldn't.
But like look at the team like the Lakers. Like, I don't know the logistics behind like all the financial stuff, but they got Christian Wood on a discount. You're telling me you couldn't consider adding Kelly Oubre, who would probably still, because if he was in LA, he might not have gotten hit by a car.
True.
Stupid.
Yeah. I don't even know. Anyway.
Sometimes you just don't have an explanation for things.
True. Speaking of not having an explanation for things, Jordan Poole. We talked a little bit about him in the Wizards 2 weeks ago. But I don't know if you saw the latest low light of Jordan Poole, but I'm going to bring it up here just for the laughs.
Jordan Poole to the baseline. Tried to scoop it up, and it's not Thompson.
It's just like he shook Cade Cunningham so bad that he went out of bounds, and then he just froze because it seemed like he didn't know what to do anymore. And then was like, I think I'm going to scoop layup this. And All-Star Thompson just said, get the fuck out.
Well, that's exactly what happened. You go, holy shit, that worked. You didn't expect that to happen.
No, not at all.
He's like, oh, holy shit, I didn't expect that to work. Now what do I do?
He's like, nah, I can't just shoot the shot where I'm standing.
I mean, God forbid you shoot a wide open shot right there.
Exactly. You got to make it more difficult so that it looks cool.
Right. Instead of just taking the easy shot. But we said it last week. It's stuff like this that makes me completely realize why he got punched in the face.
Yes.
like easily. Draymond, I'm sorry. I still think you're a buffoon, but I understand why you punch him in the face.
Everyone gets it now.
That's it. Like remember, like last year, everybody was like, "Oh, poor Jordan. He's getting bullied by Draymond. What a bully that Draymond's. What an asshole." Jordan, he's got to get out of there. And then they trade him, and now he's just doing stupid shit. I'm like, can somebody punch him again? Tell him to quit acting like an idiot? Because he's acting like an idiot.
Someone on that team needs to, because he's just going to go off the rails pretty soon if he's not already.
But who the hell on the Wizards is going to punch him in the face?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Corey Kispert?
Tyus Jones, maybe?
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe?
No.
I don't know. But
I mean,
honestly,
when you talk about a team that sucks, that team sucks. Bad.
And the thing is, like, Detroit is not a great team, but they have pieces on there that are fun to watch. Like, I like watching All-Star Thompson. Cade Cunningham is a good player. Jalen Duren, when he plays, he's fun to watch. They have good pieces, and it's like, oh, these guys are growing. They'll probably be good like after the next year or so with Monty Williams and so on and so forth. But with Washington, I'm just like, I hate all of you.
I like Tyus Jones.
You play. I mean, Tyus Jones is good. But I've never been a fan of Kuzma. I've never been a fan
douchebag
of like half the guys on this team. And then when I want to see Bilal Coulibaly, they don't even play him. And I'm like,
who's actually played well.
Right. And I'm like, if your team sucks and you know you're not competing for anything, why are you not playing your first round pick? Makes zero sense.
But here's the thing about Detroit, though. Like, Detroit actually, didn't they start the season off? They were like 2-0, and everybody was like getting all rock hard. They're like, whoa, shit, Detroit's. They were like Orlando before Orlando was Orlando this season.
I know.
So, but you got to think
completely opposite ways.
Yeah, it's okay. But Durant has been out. They haven't had Monty Morris hasn't been around. I don't think he's played yet this season.
Nope.
Bogdanovich hasn't played yet this season. Alex Burks was out for a while. Jaden Ivey, I don't know what the hell happened to him, but he's starting to come back, a little bit. But
I have no clue what's going on with him.
Well, he's starting to play a little better, and he's starting to get some minutes, so maybe he did something. I don't know.
Finally got out of the doghouse.
Wash somebody's car or something. I don't know. But, at least they have kind of an excuse why they suck. I mean, maybe if they weren't, had all those injuries, maybe they would have won a couple more games. Mm-hmm. The Wizards have no reason to suck. For the most part, they've been relatively healthy for the entire season, with the exception of Jordan Poole's late scratch the other night, which totally effed me and a bunch of I can't say fuck, totally fucked me and a bunch of fantasy lineups. But that's not the point. I'm just the team's not good.
I have been kicking myself this whole time for drafting Jordan Poole in one of my leagues. I hate it. Just I'm in a points league and he got me 11 points yesterday.
I mean, he's had in all fairness, he's had some good games.
He has had some good games, but I'm like, dude, 11 points from who's supposed to be the 1A, 1B scorer and offensive player on this fucking team.
But you got to wonder what the hell Bob Myers was thinking.
Very true.
Signing that fucking guy to that big contract.
At least they were able to get out of that and then get over to Chris Paul, who's been a tremendous help for them.
I guess.
And Tyler says, what has happened to bro? He has fallen off. Have you seen the clip of him paying extra attention during a timeout? Yeah. We played the one clip the last episode of him goofing off at a timeout. So then there was a clip where I guess he got shamed by the internet so much that he was like really locked in on the coach and like trying to ask questions and everything.
Who's bro?
Bro is Jordan Poole.
Who they call him bro?
Tyler called him bro.
I don't. I have never heard that.
I responded to one of the like tweets of the video though, and I'm like, I think the internet is successfully shaming Jordan Poole into becoming a good player.
I mean, I don't think the internet's effective at doing it. I don't think the internet has that kind of power.
Well, like now he's paying attention in timeouts, and he was not paying attention in timeouts before.
Yeah, but was he really? If he was, it sounds like he was just being a fucking goof.
I mean, he might still be just being a goof. I don't know, but if the internet did successfully do that, that would be hilarious. But the thing is, I mean, you go back, of course, it like when you trade Jordan Poole from the Warriors to the Wizards, like the Warriors obviously were going gung-ho for the playoffs and for the championship with their core getting older. And I really thought the Wizards were going to become like a playoff contending team with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, at least like a play-in. But they don't even look like that right now. According to Bovada, the Warriors are minus 400 to make the playoffs. But Washington isn't even favored to make the playoffs. So it's like,
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we lost Dennis. But yeah, Tyler, we had the clip of him goofing off during the timeout in our last episode. So I would say definitely go back and just look at the segment we did on Jordan Poole in that one, because the guy is insane. I don't understand how he even got to that point. There he is. He's back.
That's right.
But anyway, let's move on. Let's get to let's get to Josh Giddey's allegations.
I just want to make sure before I got disconnected for a minute that people realize that Jordan Poole's an idiot. I don't know if I made that clear or not, but I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, it's clear now.
Okay,
it's
good.
Definitely clear now.
Because if there was anything out of that whole segment, I just wanted it to be known that he's an idiot. Thank you.
Of course. We are now in to probably what is the most trending news of the NBA right now. When I read this and saw this, I had no idea that this was ever a thing. Police are investigating Josh Giddey for an alleged underage relationship. He is, from what this news article from the New York Post says, he's reportedly the subject of a police investigation following social media allegations that he had an inappropriate relationship with an underage girl. Newport, California Police Department is investigating the matter to see if there's any validity to the claims and if any laws were broken. That was earlier today. They did not immediately return any phone calls from the news. It looks like they're still investigating. The NBA announced last week that it was investigating the matter. Age of consent in California is 18, which is most of the United States. I think there's some places that are still 16, which is weird. But
yeah, I think it's summer 17 too.
Okay. Giddey was asked by reporters about it, and he goes, I understand the question, obviously, but no further comment right now. I get the question. I completely understand you want to know about it, but just for right now, I don't have anything to say. The head coach, Mark how do you say Mark Dagnall? Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Okay. He said, yeah, personal matter. I'm not commenting on it either.
Of course not.
People have said like there's posts of this girl like pretty much in high school last year, like the year before. I don't know when the whole relationship took place, but
Well, they make it seem like it was kind of recent.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, because it would be weird if the relationship was like 3 years ago and now all of a sudden they're looking into it or there was like claims or whatever.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I believe happened.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I will start with this is alleged.
Yes. It's all alleged right now.
Everybody's innocent till proven guilty. This is all speculation on my part.
Okay.
How old is this girl?
It doesn't. Everywhere I looked, it doesn't say. I don't think they've confirmed what this girl's age is.
All right, but I got to be careful with my words, but I don't really know how to do that. So, but if this was 1950, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Josh Giddey's what, 21?
Yes.
She could be, I think I saw somewhere 16, 17.
Okay.
So if this were 1950, though, how many older guys were like, there were like 16-year-olds getting married in 1950?
Oh, yeah. It was like all underage relationships.
So here's the thing, like, the question is, did he know that how old she was? Which I would have a hard time believing that he would know how old she is.
Right.
I think that I don't think Josh Giddey's a pedophile, because that's what that's technically what he would do. Is it a really bad judgment call on his part by not like inquiring about how old she was? Did she ever tell him how old she was? Was he like? You never know what the hell's going on though. Like, the thing is, like, when you're if you're like 16, 17, obviously we know that she's not mentally capable of making reasonable decisions when it comes to what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, especially when you got a guy who's a millionaire who
True.
Is a good-looking guy. You got a successful guy giving you plenty of attention, which to me, I don't know how committed a 21-year-old millionaire in the NBA is going to be committed. So part of me wants to be like, maybe something went downhill. Like, this was all kept under wraps, because her brother knew about it and stuff like that, and nothing was ever, allegedly, I guess, her brother knew about it. They FaceTimed or something, and their plans on going to a game and all this stuff. So, I don't know who knew about it and who didn't know about it, but something part of me, like, a lot of times, if this thing goes south, which it may have, like somebody didn't return calls or texts, or somebody wanted to break it off, which is a normal guy move.
Right.
Especially a guy who's good, like I said, good looking, is a millionaire. All of a sudden he's possibly done whatever he's done, and then all of a sudden now somebody's upset, and now somebody's looking to get back at somebody, because you never know. This poor honey, who's only like 16, maybe 17, could have been her first love. She may have fallen hard for this guy. And this is where we're at right now. I do, like I said, I do have a hard time believing that Josh Giddey is a child predator.
Right.
But I'm not ruling it out by any means, because you never know. And if he is, he's a piece of shit. I don't know what kind of home life this 16-year-old girl, or 17, or however how old she is, I don't know what kind of home life she had. Apparently not. I don't know how good it was. Somebody had to know what she was doing.
Right.
So there's a lot of things wrong in this situation, and it's you know but maybe he didn't even do anything. So who the
I
hell
mean, yeah.
knows? Like I don't even think I can make a joke about this because it's it's like a young girl.
Right.
But there's a whole like way, there's so many like ways to look at it. Like a lot of girls now look just so much older than they used to.
Sure. Like girls when I was in high school didn't even wear anything close to what girls in high school wear now, let alone girls like, that are going to anywhere an NBA player would be.
But where did she meet him?
That's the other thing. I have no idea, especially because like Giddey's from Australia. Like he didn't go to high school or college or anything in the States. So he came
like,
over from Australia.
Was he like just stopping by like he was in a city one day? Would he go on like one of those sites and like I don't know how those things work, but I assume it can tell you where you can find girls and stuff, right?
Like Tinder and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell those. I've never used them, but I assume they could tell you like a location of a girl in your city or something like that, and maybe he, said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And one thing led to another.
I'm assuming it was when he either in the off season or when they were in LA, because the news articles keep referencing the age of consent in California versus Oklahoma.
Well, Oklahoma's probably like 10.
Oklahoma is 16.
Shocking.
But they keep referencing the age of consent in California, so I'm assuming it happened at some point when either maybe they were playing like the Lakers or the Clippers, or maybe it was in the off season and he lives over in California. I don't know where he lives in the off season.
But these cases aren't always it's not always the same. It's not always like, to me, and it's a weird way to think, but like there's a significance between like, and I got to be careful, but I'm whatever. Like, but there's you're labeled a child predator,
Right.
if a girl's 16 or if a girl's 5.
Right.
But to me, there's a significant difference. Of course,
True.
there is. Like, there's not. If he went after a 5-year-old, he's a piece of shit and should just be thrown off a cliff and tortured forever.
Right.
If she's 16, though, and he didn't know she was 16, and she looks 18, like, that's a different story. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying there's poor judgment going on here all along. But you can understand how things would spiral into this type of situation.
Oh yeah, and I mean, who's to say that like he goes out with this girl and she's just been constantly lying about her age the whole time? But like, is he going to be like, "Let me see your ID"? Like,
Right.
Nobody says that.
Right.
So there is, and to be honest, there are plenty of people out there that try to trick people like a Josh Giddey into something like this to get money out of it. There are those kind of shitty people. So that's another possibility.
And you're not saying that's the case here by any means.
Right. No. I'm not going to sit here and blame, random people. I'm just saying that is a possibility.
But the fact, though, that he's still playing, though, makes me believe there's a lot more to this in his favor than not, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. Speaking of him playing, they did just start playing. And live odds on Bovada Sportsbook, they are talking about the Thunder being at only a +1.5 spread right now. They're up 14-11 on the Timberwolves. So.
Oh, I was like, what does Bovada have to do with his relations with a...
Nothing.
I was like, we're getting a little deep here, Bovada.
Bovada's like, did he do it? Yes or no?
Minus 250 that he did.
Bovada doesn't trust him. Oh god. Anyway, moving away from that into
Yeah,
something.
like I don't even want to. What a topic!
Yeah, I know. We have
Like
a couple more. Sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
all game for it, and then I was like, wait a second, I don't. This
Yeah,
can
it's
somebody
not
keep
fun.
an
It's
eye
not
on
fun
this
to
girl
talk
for
about.
fuck's sake?
Seriously.
Like where
Um,
are her parents?
That's a great question. That's always like that should always be the one of the first things asked.
Like with all the tracking devices and shit now that you have, literally, like we have this thing where it tells you where I'm at.
Right.
So my wife's like, "Oh, you left work. Where are you going?" Like you don't have that for a 16-year-old girl, especially
And
who's
it's
beautiful.
especially like with iPhones and stuff, it's so easy to just like track your iPhone location with like a family iPhone. Like it sometimes it's even built in if you ask like Verizon or whatever to do it for you.
Well, I said I don't know how to set this thing up, but apparently it's set up on my phone
Mm-hmm.
by either one of the two women I live with, and one of them set it up, and I have no idea how to turn it off. But I don't really care because I don't do anything. But
Right.
it's just so hard to believe that like you don't know. Like if she's 16, you don't. I mean, there had to have been times where she was out late at night.
Probably.
You don't know where your daughter is.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, it's a
blaming
shit
the
show.
parents on somebody else. I'm not blaming the parents on somebody else doing something that they shouldn't be doing. But what I'm
Right.
saying is there's a lot of errors in this situation that should be addressed.
Oh yeah.
Where everybody starts
I
getting on my
v-
nuts.
Very rarely are these things black and white. Very rare. There's so much gray area in all of this. So, yeah. Moving on to something a little more lighthearted. Scott Foster and Chris Paul have been feuding for a long time. It's easily the only other like ref versus player thing that comes up is who is it? Tony? Is it Tony Brothers and James Harden? Somebody in James Harden where he has a terrible record whenever that ref is reffing. I forget who it was.
Yeah, there's another one. I can't remember, but there's a couple more. I'm gonna have to
and there's
look into
Crawford and Tim Duncan.
them. Yeah, stuff like
Forgot
oh
about
god,
that
that's
was a
probably
good
the
one.
worst.
That was a good one too. But so Foster the other day throws out Chris Paul, and I have a clip here. We'll bring this up. Hold on.
Foster have had their history. They've had a relationship. And Scott Foster's had enough of them reminiscing about the relationship.
And Chris Paul's ejected.
He's out. Easy.
Steph just said, don't make it worse. So a couple free throws and you're without Chris Paul.
Scott Foster. It is boiling point.
Now Steve Kerr got a tee. So 3 tees now.
This is spiraling out of control.
A lot of Warrior frustration in this quarter.
So 3 technicals in the span of less than a minute.
Oh, he was in. So it's safe to say though that Chris Paul and Scott Foster aren't going to be exchanging Christmas cards this year.
Not at all. And this is what Chris Paul had to say about it, actually.
It's personal. Yeah, we had a situation some years ago, and it's personal. You know what I mean? Like, the league everybody knows, it's been a meeting and all that, and it's just a situation with my son, and so it's, so I'm okay with a ref talking, saying whatever, saying just don't use a tech to get your point across. You know what I mean? So I got to do a better job making sure I stay on the floor for my teammates. But yeah, that's that.
It's personal.
You ever see those shows where like the adult and the kid, they wake up one day and they're in each other's body.
Uh-huh.
And the kid or the adult is now a kid and his clothes are like too big on him.
Uh-huh.
That's what Chris Paul looked like just there.
His hat does look way too big.
His hat, his coat, it's like, what's going on there, pal?
Like, looking at him there makes me forget that he's almost 40.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, wait a second, this guy's like my age. Like, at what age do you have to stop wearing your hat backwards? I mean, he's well past it, I believe.
I don't know. I've seen refs when I was growing up. I've seen refs at like 60 years old wearing backward hats.
Yeah, you can't do that. They're probably eating 5-day-old turkey with their hat backwards.
Probably. No, most likely.
But do you believe that he said something about his son, or do you believe that?
I don't know. The thing that makes me somewhat believe it is just how, like, pissed with him that Chris Paul is every time. And there was another angle, I didn't have the clip of it, but once he gets thrown out and Steph like holds him back, he's walking at Foster saying, "You're a bitch." And it's just like there's just something with Scott Foster that just sets him off. And the fact, I do remember hearing about him and Scott Foster having a meeting with the NBA, like trying to just squash everything and get it like under control. And if that happened and it's still like this, that's what makes me start to believe that he could have said things about his son.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris Paul was John, though, for a little bit before he gave him that first tee.
True.
So, and he wasn't paying any attention to him, and Chris Paul kept going at him. Not saying that, I don't know who's right in this situation. I still find it hard to believe that somebody would say something about like he would just come out and say something about his son.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something, when he said that, I was like, really?
I mean, this ain't the first time, though, players have come out and thrown accusations that somebody said something about their race or whatever. To me, like, and I'm not saying that this didn't happen, but what's a great way to get people to... Nobody really knows what was said.
True.
But it's easy to say he called me the N-word or he talked about my wife or whatever, and then people are going, oh, okay, now that makes total sense. I want to put it past him. That's all I'm saying.
And I mean, Chris Paul is not free of blame in this whole situation either, because in all of these times that he did get thrown out or whatever, very rarely does he get thrown out for just not doing anything. Like when Tim Duncan gets thrown out of a game for laughing on the bench. Like, that's not what Chris Paul is getting thrown out of the game for. Chris Paul is actively arguing with him, probably pushing him further and further, and then he finally is like, you know what, technical. And then the moment he gets one technical, then Chris Paul just goes even further. So it's like, while, yes, it seems like he has a shorter fuse with Chris Paul, at the same time, Chris Paul is not free of blame in this. This is a two-way thing here.
Yeah, I don't even think it was like one of those situations where, you know how refs, they like to like make it, they put themselves over, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if that was it, because I don't think Scott Foster really gives a shit about any of that stuff. He
I don't think so either.
Miserable and pissed. He just wants to be left alone, and yeah, I don't know. This whole thing but it was kind of. I believe I saw a clip though where Booker was like kind of advocating for Paul to get a technical, which was kind of interesting to me, because I was like, was there something going on with those two that stem back to that we don't know about? Like, what's going on there? Is that part is more interesting to me.
Right. It seems like a lot of people aren't fans of Chris Paul on the court. Like, he's one of those guys that everyone is just like, fuck off, dude. Which honestly wouldn't surprise me either. But he obviously should have stayed on the court to help the Warriors because they've been struggling the past, like, 3, even 4 weeks. I mean, right now, according to Bovada, they have the 3rd highest odds to win their division. They're a little bit higher than the Lakers, a lot a bit higher than the Clippers, but the Kings and the Suns are still up there to win the division. They're not even like, they really aren't even that close to those 2. So, I don't know. The feud is funny when it, like, when it all comes to a head, especially, like, in the playoffs, and they're like, "Uh-oh, Scott Foster's reffing, and Chris Paul's on the."
That's when it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's really good TV. But to finish things off tonight, this happened actually right before we went live. Mark Cuban is selling a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks. However, he is keeping a minor portion of the team, so he's still going to be an owner, and he still is able to be head of basketball operations. So he's still going to be essentially doing everything he's already been doing. He's just not the majority owner. But
So basically, I want to make a huge profit, but still do the same shit that I've been doing.
essentially, and he's selling it to Miriam Adelson and casino tycoon Adelson family for a valuation in the range of $3.5 billion.
I was going to say $4 billion, which I'm not sure how much he bought that for, but I mean, when he took over the Mavericks, were pretty fucking terrible.
So here's another. This tweet is from Joe Pompliano from CNBC, and this says Mark Cuban bought the team originally for $285 million and turned that into $3.5 billion, but also maintains the control. And so essentially, it looks like the Adelson family that bought the majority stake, it looks like Cuban kind of gave them a discount so that he can maintain control. And everyone's saying this is unprecedented. Like, apparently it's one of the most unique setups in NBA history in terms of like the owner selling most of the team but still maintaining control of the team. And yeah, when he bought the Mavericks for $285 million, that was in 2000. So yeah, it just took a.
Well, that's a lot. That's a you know, for any professional wrestling fan, like Vince McMahon he sold it to UFC, you know, and they're under the same umbrella. And Vince is still a board of directors and still has control of what's going on, but he made $9 billion. Same
That's
shit.
insane.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think you're going to see more and more of this where people are like, I'll sell, but so basically, like I said, he wants to do the same shit. He just wants to make the money, which,
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
And there are people out there that just say they want to own a professional sports team, but they don't want to do the sports side of it. They just want to do like the business side of it or something.
Right.
So they just sit back and let other people do it. And I mean, there are owners that probably should do the same. Like the guy who owns the Panthers. That guy should just let somebody else do it.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I can't even fathom like 100 million or even a couple million, let alone $2.5 billion.
Oh, if I had $4 billion, the podcast would be on 5 days a week. We'd have a studio. Yeah. That would be no. There would not be
We'd
anything.
have every retired NBA player up to active NBA player on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We'd have Mark Cuban on the show.
Absolutely. Don't worry. When I win $1 billion, you're set. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I like that idea.
It's coming.
But I think that's it here for us, unless you have anything else.
No. I literally want pancakes. I'm starving.
Are they bringing back an egg sandwich?
Oh, it'll get done.
Okay.
But honestly, like egg sandwiches are probably one of my favorite meals, top 5 meals. When I finally shoot somebody for driving me crazy, or throw somebody off a cliff, my death row meal, one of them will be egg sandwiches.
Okay. Anything on the egg sandwich, or just eggs and
Eggs and couple different kinds of cheeses
okay.
on a nice like Italian roll.
Ooh,
You know.
Italian rolls are always good.
So yeah, I would definitely have to. And I'm a big like breakfast sausage guy. I have to
Agreed.
put breakfast in front of sausage because I know how some people think.
Tyler, we're looking at you.
Yeah, Tyler. So yeah, Chinese would definitely be on there. Pizza would definitely be on there, and just it's Italian ice. You got to like I probably have a streak of about 2 years straight of eating Italian ice, at least once a day.
That's a pretty amazing streak. I'm not gonna lie.
I probably go through at least a couple of times, like the little Luigi's every day.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife gets mad because she's like, I just bought 3 boxes of this shit, and I go through it because I love it.
I mean, if you
But
love it and that's what makes you happy, I think you should just go for it.
Yeah, oh yeah. But if I could tell, if anyone from Luigi's is listening, can we just make a 6-pack of the blue raspberry and lemon? I don't want half and half, because what they do is they make half cherry lemon, half blue raspberry lemon. I just want a whole box of blue raspberry lemon.
Not a big cherry person.
No, I mean it's good, but it's not that good. But
Right.
here's the thing too, like I think Luigi's might be getting a little too big for their britches because now they have all this other shit coming out, like churro, like that type of shit.
Right.
Or so I haven't really been like adventure enough to try it because I feel like I would hate it. But I'm completely, and I used to like alternate between that and Lindy's, but Lindy's is kind of, I don't know. I've just been such more into Luigi's lately. If anybody cares.
I don't even know which brand they sell at my local grocery store. I'm gonna have to check that out. Might have to get some Luigi's if they have it.
I mean, you may have a bigger selection where you're at.
I mean, true. There's a lot of different shit around here.
Yeah, but Luigi's though is hands down like it's the real deal.
I gotta support the Italians now that I'm married to one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I don't care if Al Qaeda made fucking Luigi's. I'm still eating it.
I agree. Shit. Anyway, before we get too far into Al Qaeda making Italian water ice,
right?
That's it for us. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching another episode of the Atlantic Files, the #1 podcast on the #1 division in the NBA. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. It lets you know when we go live. Give us a like. Leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm and other people seeing the videos. You know what also helps with the algorithm? Rating and subscribing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of those as well. We appreciate everyone who watches. We appreciate anybody that even, comes in once in a while. So thank you, everybody, and we will catch you guys next week.